This week for our discussion boards, I chose scenario number 2, which talked about Sam Collins and doing an online science course after he'd had 6 years of experience. I'm not a science teacher, but if I were Sam and had this background, I would use a flipped approach, flipping the classroom approach to creating an online course. And I'm sure many of you know Flipped Classroom uses technology, video technology most of the time to for students to watch ahead of time, and then they use the end classroom time for collaborative, intense individual application. Westerman states, in terms of Bloom's revised taxonomy, this means that students are doing the lower levels of cognitive work, gaining knowledge and comprehension outside of class, and focusing on the higher forms of cognitive work, which is the application, the analysis, the synthesis, and evaluation in class, where they have the support of their peers and teachers. Some have suggested that the lecture portion of a flipped classroom can be much shorter, covering the same amount of information because there are no behavior problems and no questions that's lengthening the lecture time. So I would use this idea to create concise video lectures of the content that I have mastered in my 6 years of science teaching. I would then create a syllabus that was described in the presentation this week that makes sure I'm using all available time to meet the required objectives for the course that will be able to be enacted in an online setting. This could require some editing of my initial face-to-face setting syllabus, but I think it would be good to edit that for the things that I know will work in an online setting. I would require a proctor situation to ensure that students are receiving the student-to-teacher interaction. In the article by De La Vara, it said that we have found that a combination of academic and social support from adults was important for positive outcomes in terms of educational aspirations, academic effort, and extended and academic self-concept. I quoted Simonson in week 1 where he said the more equivalent the learning situation of the distant learner is to the learning situation of the traditional learner, the more equivalent are the learning outcomes, which I think would be an advantage for me in this setting if I was doing this because I've already taught this in a traditional classroom setting. So I would use these skills to use my lectures, video lectures, and then use the rest of the time for the proctor to use the group collaborative work and the independent analysis and work there to use to make that distance learning class.